Okay, here I'm with my lovely wife Shauna here, and she's getting ready. She's in her what I call the technology lab for two mini computers. One is a eBay computer and one is an Etsy computer. So we're here today to talk about Etsy, to drive home the point of why Etsy is a great place to sell, and to get in the right mindset.
I sell on eBay and on Etsy. On eBay, you tend to have to sell things a little bit cheaper than you would on Etsy. So price-wise, you can kind of increase your price on Etsy a little bit more than eBay. And Etsy is just kind of a different group of people. If you make handmade goods and stuff like that, they appreciate a lot more as opposed to eBay. eBay just kind of people want things cheap. That's the main thing with eBay. They want to find a good deal. With Etsy, they kind of appreciate the uniqueness and kind of the artsy part of the products. To get started on Etsy, I would say research on Etsy. Research what you want to sell or what you have an idea to sell. Look it up on Etsy, see what other people are selling that's similar with their prices, their descriptions, their pictures, what they're charging for shipping. I would say that would be the first thing, just to see exactly what it is you want to sell and then look it up. And then the main thing though with Etsy is consistency. As with eBay, you have to be consistent. You have to do it every single day. You can't just do it one day and then wait 5 more days and then expect to have 10 sales. It just doesn't work like that.
And see, I think you said the key word, consistency, and that's something that a lot of people don't have. They start with great motivation in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it just goes down, and then they say, well, Etsy or eBay didn't work.
Every day, 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
On both of them, eBay and on Etsy. And you'll know too, what days are busier than other days. Typically, tonight is a Friday night. Typically, eBay or Etsy, they're not extremely busy on a Friday night because most people, it's the beginning of their weekend. They go out, they have a good time, or they just relax at home. During the weekdays in the evening, that's usually the best time. And then, of course, on the weekends too. But you also have to know if there's certain things going on. This is Super Bowl Sunday. It's probably not going to be the most happening place, online because people are going to be watching the Super Bowl. But you have to do it every day. Every day. Let's see. Usually, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Saturday, Sunday. Mondays, people they're kind of getting their week started. Fridays, the week is ending. So I would say usually in the middle. For me personally, in my stuff, usually during the middle of the week, and then Saturday and Sundays are usually the busiest times.
Saturday and Sundays.
Yeah, people are kind of at home and browsing the internet because they have time. I sell more things on eBay than I do on Etsy, but on eBay I have to sell my things for cheaper. So I guess they both kind of balance themselves out, because Etsy you can sell your stuff a little bit more because, like I said, people appreciate the uniqueness, whereas opposed to eBay, people just want things cheap and more. So I sell more on eBay.
Okay.
So I guess for me, I would say I sell more on eBay, but it's just less. So I don't know. Me personally, I tend to like eBay a little bit more than Etsy, but I still like Etsy because, like I said, you can charge a little bit more and they appreciate items as opposed to asking, can I get $15 knocked off the price. Like I said, to look and see what is selling well on Etsy.
Okay.
Just first you have to just figure out what it is, because on Etsy you can sell handmade, you can sell vintage, you can sell crafting supplies, you can sell, the big thing is with Etsy is it has to be handmade, or it has to be, like I said, supplies that can be used to make handmade, or it has to be vintage. Basically you can't go to somewhere buy bulk of 500 items that are the same thing mass produced and then sell them on Etsy. You're not supposed to do that. I would say research, see what sells well, and then try to be competitive, because obviously if you got the same thing as someone else and you're not going to sell as much. So but if you have a handmade thing, if you do something that's unique and that's handmade, you have a totally different audience because you're one of a kind and you're unique, and that's really what Etsy likes to focus on.
So basically, what you're saying is that the difference between Etsy and eBay is basically eBay is commercial products and Etsy is more handmade, unique products.
Yeah, yep. Etsy's really big on handmade. Where eBay, well, eBay you can sell whatever you want on eBay. You start at 99 cents or whatever. Yep, and you can't. People used to make the money off of the shipping, but now eBay has changed where they take 10% of your shipping. So the 99-cent thing doesn't really. Because people used to charge on 99 cents and then charge a lot for the shipping. So eBay's kind of caught on to that too. So, but eBay you just have to watch with the fees because eBay fees a lot. 10% here, 10% there.
Oh, so watch out with the fees, huh?
Know your fees. Like when I first started eBay, I wrote down all my fees and I keep track of all my fees because that way you have to know how much to price your stuff because you obviously don't want to sell something and then make $2 off of it by the time you do your costs and your shipping and everything else. So you just have to keep in mind all the fees for both of them because Etsy takes fees as well.
So what you're saying is that when a person's coming up with their price, they probably should include those fees that they may get taken out of Etsy in that price.
Well, you can either include them or just keep in mind, how much, what is the max, what is the price point that you really want to get for your item, and then take into consideration all those fees and stuff like that. So you don't want to price it really, really high, but at the same time too, you don't want to price it really, really low where it's not worth your time.
Now, I'm standing here now and I see all of these delivery confirmations. Why do you have that on the board? What's the reason behind that?
I do delivery confirmations with everything because people obviously they want to track. It's just to ensure that you've sent the package, and it's also it's for the seller to ensure that you've sent the package, and it's also for you as the seller because if someone says, "Hey, I didn't get this package," and they may not have got it, they may have got it, but you've got proof that you actually sent the item. On eBay, they really push that you do it because you can put in the tracking number, right there that shows, hey, I've sent this off. Because there are people, I've had stuff get lost in the mail even with delivery confirmation. So I just do it. It's cheap. It's a lot easier than having to fight with someone than having to refund a full amount of an item as opposed to the, whatever it costs to do the delivery confirmation. And now they have it with eBay. If you do their online postage, delivery confirmations are free.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but for that, you would need to get I need to get to a postage scale. That way you can see how much your items weigh. That way you can do the correct postage on it. But yeah, delivery confirmations are free. I don't make money off of shipping. I get a lot of my shipping envelopes like these. These are the flat rate padded ones. I just order these off of USPS.com. They're free. Okay. You can get up to 15 at a shot, and then for me to ship this anywhere in the United States with the delivery confirmation, it turns out to be $6.05. So I don't make any money off of the shipping because a lot of them know the shipping costs, and so if you try to charge more for shipping, a lot of times people will be like, hey, your shipping is really high, what's the deal? So I personally don't try to make money off of the shipping, I just try to make the money off of the actual product, so... but if it's, if I happen to overguess it or underguess, if I underguess it, that's my bad, but if I overguess it by a lot, then usually I'll refund the difference, if it's like over $1, just because, I don't know. With eBay, you want to have really good customer relations because eBay goes by colors of stars, so the more positive feedbacks you get, the color of your star will change, and so you want to, try to become one of the top sellers. So you don't really want to piss off your customers.
So basically, the better you treat your customers, the more better for you. And
the more return you'll get. I've only been on eBay. I'm nowhere near a power seller on eBay, but I've had return customers already. And I've sold like 100 items on eBay. But if you treat them right, then they'll come back, and that's worth it more to me than trying to make a couple of bucks off of their shipping. So.
True. Well, thanks a lot, Shauna, for your great tips for Etsy. And I hope this helps individuals to go out and make some great money. So until next time. What's going on? And what you're looking at right now is Etsy.com. Guys, this is an excellent way to make some extra money. My wife has been with Etsy for about 2-3 years now. Maybe a little longer than that. But it's an excellent way to make extra money when you don't feel like going to a second job, or whatever it may be. So today, let's just look over a couple things of why
Etsy is great. And I'm going to get right into it. The first thing I'm going to show you right now is, notice I'm going to the search bar. This search bar right here is a great way to find things throughout Etsy. Now we're going to go to shops, and I'm going to tell you why Etsy is a great thing. Right now I'm going to type in the name of a store here that's doing quite well. We're on here on Etsy. All right. Let this come up 1 second. And this store's name is called Tribal Style. Okay. Now, right away, what this is Tribal Style is a store that basically sells handmade earrings. And Tribal Style is basically a website where, like I said, they're handmade earrings. What she does is she gets earrings and she cuts them, and then she adds the metal piece. So that's what consider it to be handmade. But here's what I want you to look at. Look here on this left screen right here, on this side over here. So you have the name of the store. She has a profile picture, a few other categories, but I want you to pay attention to this number right here. 21,848 sales. Now, if you look at this, look at her prices. $15, $18, $25, $18. So you do the math. Let's just put maybe an average number of $20. So you go $20 times 21,848 sales. You can tell automatically what kind of money this person's made, and only opened the store February 1st, 2010. So I'm going to ask you, did you make that kind of money at your job this year? And this is all made from her home. Now, if you're making this kind of money, you probably don't need to work a job. What you probably need to be doing is open Etsy stores. So that's just one example. So let me just type into the sales here. All right. Now I'm on a sales page. I clicked on that sales icon. Now here you could see this little icon here. You see 4 squares and you see 3 squares going straight down from each other. I'm going to click on that one. I like that view a little better. Now, what I'm looking at now is the items that she sold. Okay, so we see on January 29th she sold an item. Actually, on January 29th, she sold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on and on and on. And there's reasons why she did that, and I'm going to go into that a little further. But I just want to show you, this is one store that is doing pretty good on Etsy. And you can do it too. Now, let's look at another store. This is just, I don't want to get the hype just on one store. Let's look at another store and see what they have here. This is another store I've been following. Dark Cycle. I think it's written like that. Okay, Dark Cycle Clothing. Now, this here is a t-shirt company. Okay? T-shirt company. And what you see is, basically, it's pretty simple. It's t-shirts with animals. Now, animals is one of those things that a lot of people love. So, here you have a tiger riding on a bicycle, a fox riding on a bicycle. This is a crab riding on a bicycle. Got my screen here going a little nuts. Basically, his whole theme is animals riding on bicycles. Here we go over to the left again on the shop info. What do you have? 22,078 sales. There we go again. Now, let me go a little bit into why I think these people are making this kind of money. Well, the first thing I want to say is this. It's the product. The product is unique. There's an audience for it, as we could tell with the 20,000 or more sales. But it also goes into consistency and hard work. Now, pay attention to this real quick. With this page, look at this shirt. Okay, he has a description. He has 1,713 views. But look at here, 2 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, 18 minutes ago, 27 minutes ago. What that basically is saying is that this guy is constantly listing items. Now, this store right here, the store owner, I actually talked to him on through email, and we talked about something that actually lets him automate this system where he can actually list products all throughout the day. So basically, he's not glued to his computer. What he actually is doing is, all he's doing is concentrating on creating new product and constantly getting that product out there. And then once he posts the picture of that product, he sets it up on this automatic app and it posts for him. And all he has to do, if he hasn't outsourced this himself yet, is ship out the product and collect the money. How nice is that? You know? So basically it's just the consistency of listing and 2, having a great product. Now let me tell you why you need to consistently list something on Etsy. Let's go to all items. All right. Now, it's just like Google. When you're on Google, you're probably only going to search on the first page when it comes to Google. Meaning, you're not going to search on the second and third one. So those guys who are on the second and third page probably won't get a lot of things bought from them. So this guy has a t-shirt company. So let's go here. And remember, I put in all items. This is how you search for products on Etsy. Okay? So now we just typed in t-shirts. So let's see what comes up here. Let's see, can we find Dark Cycle? All right. Well, I didn't find him on the first page. You know, but see, let me tell you why I'm looking at this. Okay? Now, basically, what I did was, when you go to all items, all of these companies here are different companies. And the way Etsy works is, so I'm looking on, like this guy, he posted a t-shirt up 4 days ago. Then another one 6 days ago. Then another one on the 20th. It's all about, like, if I'm on here right now and someone posts from another company in the t-shirt section, another shirt, their name is going to go right above the 4 days. Okay? So the way Etsy works is you have to constantly keep posting in order not to fall down where no one can find you in no man's land. That's how Etsy works. So the more you post, the more you can be seen. That's why you see a lot of those guys who are making those kind of sales with great products, is because they're getting a lot of exposure. Now, with Etsy, they charge you not 20%, not 20 cents per picture, but 20 cents per post. So every time you post, you would get docked 20 cents. But here's the thing. Now, some of you may be asking, oh my gosh, that's expensive or whatever. Okay. If you have a great product and you believe in it, you're going to have to invest a little money in order to make some money. So it's not a bad investment in order to do something like that, to get exposure, because once they catch on to you and people find out and you build customers, you're going to make money. So we kind of understand that in a nutshell. Now, let's go over how to create an Etsy account. So basically, you go over here to the register button. And you type your name in. Let me do a little type here real quick. Very simple. Just fill out the form. After you fill out the form, that's already taken, I'll just go ahead and put another word here. But basically, after you fill up the form, you are going to get an email. So let's see here. So we click register. Very simple. So it says I need to go, hi Abdul, you still need to confirm your account. So let's see. Sometimes it takes a little bit to go over there. So while that's happening, let me go over a couple more buttons here. So in this drop down menu, you have vintage, supplies, people, how you can find different companies, shops, your favorites. You can actually favorite. If you see a shop that you like, you can go and favorite the deals. Or not necessarily shops, but you can favorite your items, you know? And basically, to tell you a little bit about Etsy, it was started by a guy who thought there wasn't a platform to actually sell handmade products, okay? So what he did was, he basically created a website where he didn't want commercial products. He wanted to pride himself into finding unique items. And you have people like that. Some people don't like the whole cookie cutter type lifestyle where everyone looks alike and dresses alike and blah, blah, blah. So he wanted to create something where more things are handmade. So keep this in mind, that when you're trying to sell on Etsy, you just can't sell anything as if it was eBay. Now, eBay, you can sell commercial products, blah, blah, blah. Now, with Etsy, it's just a little bit different, you know? So they, like for instance, the t-shirts, you know, you can buy the t-shirts commercially made, but when it comes up to designs and things of that nature, you can actually make your own designs. And t-shirts is a very good product. It may be a little saturated, but hey, I mean, if you have a great design, it could work for you. So that's an example. So let's see, has our email came in yet? So I want to refresh this here. Okay, confirm your Etsy account. We're there, and so we're gonna go ahead and click the button. Thanks, welcome to, thanks for confirming your Etsy account. Now we're officially Etsy members. Now the next thing you want to do after that, if you have an account, is to go to the sell option, because you want to sell some things. So basically, here in this sales page, Etsy kind of tells you what you can sell, what you can't. So they go over the rules and regulations. So you want to take some time out to read this, because when you're starting any business, you want to make sure that you're following the rules. Like for instance, just to be real quick, when it goes to vintage, which is a product that my wife sells, it has to fall in the category of 20 years or older, or is not considered vintage. So anything that you've bought 5 years ago cannot necessarily be considered vintage. They said that you can sell supplies. Well, here's the thing. Supplies that can actually make handmade things. Like you can sell yarn, thread, those type of things in order for other people to make stuff. And the other category is handmade by you. Yes, you. Now, there are ways to get around that sometimes too. And you got to be careful, because we actually had a store shut down because we necessarily didn't find that, because I guess we didn't really understand the rules. We actually bought handmade products from another country, and they didn't like that so much, because basically we were wholesaling these things, and long story short, basically they said, well, look, it's not necessarily handmade by you, and we don't know if you have, how much percentage of time do you have in actually making each product. So long story short, they let us go with that situation. But since then, we've opened other stores, you know. So you be the judge on that. There could be a person in your town that loves to hand make stuff, but just doesn't have a platform. You can partner with that person, come up with your own styles, pay that person some money, and you're in business. But you have to research on Etsy by going up to the all items on the drop down menu right there and see what's selling. Type in t-shirts, type in shoes, type in things that you can think of, just to try to get some ideas of what you think will work and what will not work. So basically, once you do that, you go to sell on Etsy over here, and this is where you have to put some more personal information. Now, this is where you're going to put your information about your address, your street. I mean, I really don't, not going to go into that because I don't want to create another account. But basically, you got to do that. Then they're going to ask you about your PayPal. If you got a PayPal, you want to set up that. They're going to also ask you for your credit card. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people ask me, well, why are they going to ask you for your credit card? Okay, this is why. If you ever have a problem with your PayPal, They just want a secondary source in order to get their payment. So they're going to ask you for both the credit card and the PayPal account. So don't feel that it's unsafe or something like that. Etsy is a great great website. I haven't heard of anybody getting fraud or anything. So, but if you don't want to put your main credit card or debit card or whatever you have, maybe you want to use an account that has a smaller amount in it, just in case, just to protect yourself. So that's how to become an Etsy seller. Pretty self-explanatory. Let me get out of here and go to the site again. So I just showed you guys 2 sites that I think are pretty good examples of websites when it comes to what to model your store. And I have a YouTube channel. And one thing that I see a lot of people make mistakes with is this. When they try to open a business or do anything, they try to do it their way, right? And that's fine. But here's the thing. Just remember, when you try to do it your way with no type of guidance or example to follow, it's going to take you much more time. And 2, you probably have a lot of failure. And now, failure isn't necessarily a bad thing, but here you can instantly learn some key things by following big stores. And one of the main things, guys, is to post on a in a frequent manner. So I mean, just look at this site. This site is very, very artistic. I mean, you have things like, look at the plate. That's like a vintage plate. The sweater, hat's artistic. This looks like a painting. Basically, they just pride themselves on unique things. So when thinking of this product, think unique. Think of something that's not commercial or what you see other people wearing. Think something on those lines. So, like I said, this video is not to take too much of your time because pretty much it's self-explanatory. The main things that I went over is consistency in posting. So, thank you guys for watching this Etsy tutorial. I wish you success. It's a great way to make money outside of your job, And let's finish strong, guys, when it comes to finance. Don't make it harder than it necessarily needs to be. And the internet is a great platform to sell. So with that said, guys, thank you guys for watching this tutorial. It really means a lot, and I hope it helps. So I hope it helps. So take care. To continue on with this tutorial, I have you at a great site right now. And this site is called Etsy.org/clockbot.php. Now, why is this so important with Etsy? And I'll give you a story just to drive home this point. My wife, when we first started selling on Etsy, would be literally glued to the computer. She would have to take pictures, she would have to write descriptions, and she would have to constantly post. But why? Because when you're in the internet business, you are marketing yourself to the world. You're no longer dealing with local customers. So having said that, for instance, when we were in Nepal about a year ago, we took the Etsy business with us. Her mom was doing the shipping, and in the States. And what happened is that we noticed something. We noticed that when we were posting things in Nepal, which is basically right next to India, a lot of people from Australia and places on that side of the world were buying. And it became obvious. The reason why they were buying is because they were awake during those times versus when it was 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, a lot of Americans are asleep. So one way to make sure that you're going to target every person in the world is to set it up on an automatic basis. You want to be posting your product so it's not bumped down to the bottom of the list on a frequent basis. But you don't want to be glued to your computer to do it. So Statsy.org is an excellent site in order to make that happen. Now, we no longer have this certain account, but I'm just gonna show you how to log in and a little bit how it starts. And this is very self-explanatory. To be honest, you can look at these other buttons here, but the only one that makes a difference is go to Clockbot, and you're gonna have to create an account with Clockbot. So you want to create your account first, and that's self-explanatory. And then once you create your account, you want to log in. So here, basically what I did was when I clicked login, it brought me to my Etsy page. And then whatever name you create for your store, whatever, it's going to basically ask you to allow access. Because StatC.org is not necessarily affiliated with Etsy. It's a program that was created to work along with Etsy. So basically you just click allow access. And let me tell you too, because some of you guys may say, oh my gosh, is this safe if I let an outside source attach to my Etsy store? Yes, because one reason I know this works is because Dark Cycle. I actually had a convo with him on Etsy, and he basically told me that this is the product that he uses because he no longer sits at his site. So what he does is he takes a picture, he writes a description, and with his product, he makes one product and he can duplicate that product over and over and over again. So he takes one picture, one description. He comes here and he sets up his schedules. Now you see right here, you put your listing number. Everything has a listing number. You can click there, or you can just click this button here, choose a listing from your shop, and the listing number will pop up. And basically, self-explanatory, you pick the date that you want that item listed, and you pick the time. Now, they charge a fee for this also, but I think the fee is minimal when it comes to setting your business up on an automated basis. Because think about it, you're setting up a business, and it's posting automatically, and the only thing you do is have to check your email in order to ship out the product. So you can continue maybe working on another business, or concentrating on your job, concentrating on your family, of doing things like that without necessarily being tied to something in order to make money. So with Statsy, a great product, and Etsy together, you have the formula to make a lot of money without necessarily spending a lot of time. Because at your job, those of you who work jobs and things like that, you're used to trading your time for money. And that's not necessarily a great thing. If you saw the examples of Dark Cycle, of Tribal Style, these people have made, 400,000 or $500,000 in 1 year, and they're not spending a lot of time doing it. So, excellent tool, guys. I'm not going to talk you to death. I think you know where I'm going with this. Please, once you find a great product, tie this to your Etsy business and set it and forget it. So, thank you guys for watching the tutorial. It's been great, and I hope this helps.